Hello, welcome to Terrors of the Milky Way. My name is Dale Dufay. This is not related to the Mandela effect per se, but in a way it is, and I want to demonstrate a point here. This is the pyramid that I discovered not too long ago on it's an earthquake app using Apple Maps here, which is pretty good. It's just as good as Google Earth, but there's a little more detail. But the point I'm bringing out on this is quite obviously a pyramid, and I accidentally found it looking at earthquakes in the surrounding area. But if you see right now, we'll go about 7, 10 miles up. You can't see that thing at all. So it was totally accidentally discovered. And I, you know, it, like I said, it's quite obviously a pyramid. I've done a lot of research and math on this thing, and it is huge. But the point being is, this is probably the largest pyramid ever discovered on Earth, and it's right here in the good old United States of America in the high deserts of Nevada. Totally remarkable. And it's obviously wasn't constructed recently, because look at the surrounding area. You can see natural land erosion, and this takes thousands of years for that. And you could see that it's all the way around. Obviously, there's, tracks and things like that done recently, but not heavily traveled whatsoever. Mostly, the point I'm getting at is obviously this was not constructed recently at all. And obviously, it's a pyramid. You can see the four corners. It's not lined up in the cardinal directions, but this indicates its extreme age. Let's go to the photo album here, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. But let's get rid of this. This is the Boeing factory. I'll get into that later. But this is probably how the compass direction was. You can see in the lower right, this is true north today. And this, again, shows the extreme age of this structure here, this base of the pyramid, this unfinished pyramid. The fact that it's unfinished also proves its age. Something stopped its construction. And this was back when north was, true north in that point of history, 10,000 before our common era, and well beyond that. I do believe that that's when the cataclysm may have happened around this time, according to forbidden archaeologists that dare talk about it, like Brian Forster and Graham Hancock and people like him. They're not afraid to talk about it. But obviously, at one time, the true north was this way, and this structure here proves it. And it's just remarkable. We get deeper into this, you start to realize, for example, there's the Boeing factory. This yellow line across here is 1,800 feet, and that's how big the base of that pyramid is. So I overlapped that huge building. And again, remember, at one time, this was the largest building in the world. They built 747 jet aircraft in there, and no doubt during the Cold War, they built the B-52 bombers in there as well. So that's how large this pyramid base is. It's extraordinary. This is the Google Earth's, how it looks on Google Earth. But you can see that the Apple version is a little more detailed. They don't let you get in as close, but you can clearly see this sharp, clean line around here. Most of the perimeter of the pyramid, which is approximately almost a mile and a third. But you can see there's not new construction here. And you can also see that this is a highly engineered product here. It's incredible, and its size is beyond comprehension. And we'll get into that again later. And how does this tie into the Mandela effect? Again, this is the biggest discovery in modern history. Who would have ever thought that there was the largest pyramid in the world? In fact, this matches the size of this pyramid of the sun in Bosnia, and that's still in dispute whether that's even a pyramid or not. And I firmly believe it is because, for one thing, it's ironically as big as this one, exactly as big, base wise and height wise. Once this, you could calculate how high this thing was going to be. But again, that pyramids is still in dispute, whether it is or not the Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia. There's no disputing this one. I mean, look at it. It's quite obviously, you can see the ramp right here. Now, whether that's modern or not, I doubt it. I'm sure they had to get, obviously, all this material, which is beyond, the cubic footage in this is beyond comprehension. I mean, it's just amazing. That's why it's no way is it a, modern structure built, like I say, if it was built like in the 40s or whatever, you'd see a lot more evidence. And like I say, here you'd see the erosion. So let's true this up. It's what's interesting. This, it's not. That's another thing that's deceiving is it's not lined up like pyramids are that we see. In fact, even the Pyramid of the Sun is lined up with true north and south as it is today. Like this. But this was at one time. This is older than. This is probably the oldest structure. But nobody's ever gonna, admit to it. Just like nobody's admitting to the Mandela effect, especially religious organizations, the fact that it's a highly spiritual event. But there's no way, this is the point I'm getting at is this is obviously a pyramid. It's obviously huge, 1,800 feet by 1,800 feet. You could fit the whole, majority of the Boeing factory in there. In fact, I superimposed a city block in Las Vegas and put in here. And it's quite remarkable. Let's get to that right now. Again, it's just, quite obviously, it's a pyramid. There's no getting around it. So, I think I already showed this one in a previous video. But here's the existing platform that's there right now. 1,800 feet across at ground level. This whole thing is like a mile above sea level. And here's a comparison to the Great Pyramid of Egypt. You could see it just dwarfs that. And if you could judge by the angle, which is 53 degrees, I'm presuming it comes to 700 feet. And I've done other pictures where it shows it compared to, well, here it is with the Pyramid of the Sun. This behind it superimposed, and it's ironic that it's exact same proportions. In fact, the Pyramid of the Sun is even 733 feet, and that's just extraordinary. What this is showing us here. Here's the one where I superimposed the city, a square. There's actually 480 city lots in this, and that takes up 24 city blocks. And there's even businesses in there and everything. That's how huge this footprint is. I mean, it's 3,240,000 square feet. That's 74.38 acres. That's how huge this footprint is. And the perimeter is 1.364 miles. Just extraordinary what this is revealing. And again, here it is with superimposed with the Boeing factory in it. Again, this is the largest building in the facility. There's others surrounding, but the largest one can sit right on the platform of that pyramid base in the high desert of Nevada. It's extraordinary. And there again is, proposed direction, no doubt when it was constructed, it was that, here's a visual of that plant, and Boeing plant. That's how big that pyramid is. Plus, keep in mind, it's 300 feet high, the pyramid base. And I know I did this is inside that building. I mean, this goes to show how huge that pyramid base is. But yeah, I think I showed one where, here it is with there's the facility. This would fit in the footprint of that, this pyramid base. Here it is. Here's a 30-story building in Kobe, Japan. And that's how high that base is that's there right now. So if you were driving up, even if you were up close to it, it wouldn't look like a pyramid whatsoever because it's missing its apex. They didn't complete this pyramid, which again is shows the significant age. And here's that 30-story building, and you can just imagine that's how high that base is there right now. It's really something. These are pictures I took of people. I wasn't going to talk about it in this video, but basically because all these famous people, highly intelligent. I love this the Da Vinci version of Jesus with this spear right here. I don't know how he was able to do that and make it look just like a crystal sphere. But these people, none of these people have experienced the Mandela effect. And because we're experiencing it, we have more knowledge about spirituality than the Pope. But here's how I found the pyramid. I was keeping track of these earthquakes, and I was amazed at how uniform in a grid pattern they are. So they're obviously doing something here. And that's what caught my attention. I was monitoring it for a couple of weeks through here and didn't even notice this until started. I was like, what the heck is that? And then started researching and getting into the incredible size of this, and also the fact, even as large as it is, it still looks like the head of a pin from, say, 5 to 50 miles up in the air. So it's very difficult to find. I mean, it would have been impossible to find it if you were searching for something like this, but it was accidentally found when I was looking at this unusual grid, because I've seen, every time you see a swarm of earthquakes, they're not in a uniform grid like this. Never. They're very random, and this is and then there's repeated ones over and over, and this has been going on practically on a daily basis. And I kind of doubt now that it's a demo situation, because they would have been finished by now, but it's been ongoing for almost a month now. But again, the important thing is here's the biggest find since King Tut's tomb, and yet it'll never garner any attention whatsoever. It's really astonishing when you think of it. Here's here's that city block I superimposed on it. A city block, I'm sorry. This is actually, again, this is 1,800 feet by 1,800 feet, and look at all this could actually fit in the footprint of that pyramid in the high desert in Nevada. And I just can't get over it personally. It's just how extraordinary this is. It really is. This again, I like Apple's version of this. It shows more color. You could see, again, it's important to note that this is a slough pile from quarry operations here, or mining operations, and that might be what the earthquakes are about. This one here is even a pile from all that, because here the quarry, the path goes right to this one that's shaped like a heart. So these are, obviously deposits, ore deposits and waste from the mining or quarrying operation here. But look at the color differences. It's totally different on the pyramid. And again, it's impossible that it's, recently engineered. And again, to what end? Why would they do it? And if it is, waste or slough pile from mining operations or quarrying operations, why would they make it a perfect pyramid? This is perfectly engineered. Like I said, look at these crisp, sharp lines. And in previous videos, I showed up close how you could actually see the casing stones underneath this growth, this vegetation. They might even be, there's even evidence that there's, like tractor or machining marks over, from almost like they're farming the thing. Because again, it's from the road, it's going to look just like a mountain. You'll never, like on this road here, Candelera Road, you'd never be able to, this is like 3 miles from here to here. You'd never be able to know that was a pyramid. Unless, of course, it had its apex, it would be unmistakable. But this will just look like a huge 300-foot high by, 2,000 plus foot ridge. Of course, it's 1,800 on each side, but if you were looking at it from this angle, you would hardly notice this ridge here. But you can only know it's a true pyramid from the view of the sky. And look at that. It's just, it's unmistakably a pyramid. And it wasn't done recently. There's evidence. Look at that. Like I said, look at the natural weather wear on the terrain all the way around it. And of course, there is some trip. This road goes all the way to U.S. Highway 59. 50, oh, I'm not sure that highway 51 or 95, I think. Yeah. So this is just the most incredible find in recent history, but it'll never garner attention. I'm trying to show it to Michael at Mr. MBB333, and he's interested in it, but hopefully he'll, because his channel's large enough to bring this out. This is no doubt about this. This is a pyramid that's not finished, and it's extraordinary, and it's huge. Again, if this is proven to be such, which I'm convinced it is, it's the largest one on Earth. Not complete, of course, but that's the beauty of it. If it was complete, it would have been discovered a long time ago. But again, you never know. They might not have told us because, they don't want us to know that there's a gigantic pyramid base in the high desert of Nevada. They don't want us to. They wouldn't want us. That's why this is too extraordinary. That's why it may not be revealed. Just like the Mandela effect. Extraordinary as the Mandela effect is, it's been so misunderstood, and it seems like those that are not affected have all the answers to it. Here again is another example. And like I said, I just can't, as unrelated as this is, I'm trying to relate it with the Mandela effect the best I can, but this is so exciting to me. To me, this is huge. And obviously, this was constructed and engineered a long time ago, before the Ice Age, or the end of the Ice Age, before the end of the Ice Age. In fact, the glaciers may have been encroaching very close while they were building this, and that's why they stopped. I doubt if it was covered with glaciers, it would have showed scars of that, or maybe even destroyed it somewhat. But they were probably, the glaciers, this is the 38th parallel, and the glaciers were probably not too far north of there, the edge of the glaciers. And that may have been what stopped it, or the cataclysm that caused the Earth to tip from true north and south to at that time to where it is now. It could have been that event that caused this not to be completed. And you can see they, obviously we get a hint at how they build them. You can see the ramp here. You can see that they came up very evenly all the way around. I doubt if this was intended to be a finished product as it is now. No doubt it was meant to have that apex, as shown here. That's the finished pyramid. If you follow the angles, again, this is 300 feet tall. What's there? That's as tall as this 30-story building. And this angle was about 500 feet. I've done a couple measurements, but it's difficult to get an accurate measurement. But you have to assume that it's at least 53 degrees, which would bring the apex at 700, just like the one in Bosnia. That's ironic, I really do. But again, that one's in question. That one's facing true north and south now, like the Great Pyramids are in Giza, or the Great Pyramid and the other ones in Giza Plateau are all facing true north and south as it is today. But that just goes to show the extreme age of this one in Nevada, which trumps all of them, literally. It's really remarkable. Again, that's the height of it now. You would never be able to recognize that that's a pyramid in the high desert if you were driving by it. You would never be able to recognize it. So that's hopefully this, does garner attention. I don't want it for this channel or for myself per se, but I just hope it does, because this is a remarkable find. We can go to Google. I'll show you the difference with Google Earth. I'm sorry I'm kind of rambling on about this, but this is just so extraordinary to me. Like I said, in my opinion, it's the biggest find. It's pretty much due east of San Francisco, a little bit north. I always look at these two lakes, Hawthorne Lake, and I forgot the name of this lake, Mono Lake or something like that. Yeah, Mono Lake. And then, ironically, keep in mind there's a lake up here called Pyramid Lake, about 140 miles from the pyramid. But of course, they call it that because from certain angles, this island here looks like a pyramid. But that's why they, assume they got the name from that. But still, I don't know. Maybe it's common knowledge with geologists and people like that this pyramid exists. But I always go between these two lakes. And of course, I got the coordinates, and then go up from there. It's like straight north of Columbus. See it right there? See how you can barely see it? And right now we're 72 miles up. And you could, like, if you weren't looking for it, you'd never be able to see that. It's basically a little bigger than a pinhead. And if you go further out, there's no way, you know what I mean? But when you zoom in, that is quite obviously a pyramid. But see, the color difference is a little different than on the Apple maps. But still it stands out from these other slough piles, the heart-shaped one, this one, and all others around. And I did in previous videos show that there were other square shapes around, but they weren't near as big and they weren't perfect or anything like that from man-made ones. But this one, beyond a doubt, is engineered to the extreme. And you can see it. You can see the ramp here a little bit. But what's nice about the Google is you can zoom in real close, almost as close as you want to. And this is where you could really see the casing stones and the undergrowth, especially in certain areas where the sunlight's just right. But you can see evidence of what looks like farming on there. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'd probably see how these marks go like that. No doubt that's somehow, harvesting or using the terrain and whatnot. This might be the edge. I've showed this in previous videos, but it's just crazy. You can almost see the casing stones. And I did a comparison with the, pyramids at Giza. You can almost see the same thing. Of course, there's no vegetation on those, but this is just massive and unbelievable. And the point I can't express enough is it's beyond a shadow of a doubt. It is a pyramid. There's no doubt about it, or the very, incompleted one. There's no doubt, no escaping that. But yet, it won't be talked about. See, let's go back to show you the difference. See the difference in color. And you can only zoom in so far. You can even see patterns on the top. It's almost like it's sectioned off in 16 sections. It's very interesting. And so this is obviously constructed. It obviously wasn't done in the last 100 years or so, or thousands of years. I mean, again, you could see the evidence. You could see the natural land erosion. If this was recently constructed, which there's so many reasons why it isn't, because of the amount of engineering it would take, and to what end? Why would it be necessary? Obviously, they had a reason. Our ancestors had a reason to build these. It's unknown. This is not a tomb, obviously. This is some sort of highly engineered project that wasn't finished. So you start eliminating all the things that are impossible. That wasn't done recently because you don't see scarring around the thing. In fact, what scarring you do see is very minimum. And you start, okay, so it wasn't done recently. It obviously was built and constructed and highly engineered. So you start, so when was it built? It's not, the fact that it's not lined up like that tells us that it was done, that it's older than the ones in Egypt and the Pyramid of the Sun in Bosnia. So you start eliminating all these things. You start coming to the conclusion that this is a pyramid in the United States of America. The largest pyramid, the oldest pyramid ever discovered. The fact that it's incomplete doesn't diminish it whatsoever. That again shows just how old it potentially is, because it was stopped by some major cataclysm, because they wouldn't start a project like this without a good reason not to complete it. And it had to be something like that. So again, this is the Apple version. This is the one I first found it in using that earthquake app. And again, all the earthquakes are around here. There's quite a few on this side of State Highway 95. There's a lot over here too. So we can only assume they're mining operations. In fact, that could be why the ancients were so attracted to this area because of the minerals. And I'm not sure what's here. Gold, I was told. But look at these quarries. You could see this one was recently worked, but you could see the old side of it too. Perhaps these are signs of the quarrying to build it in the first place. But you can see they're using it recently too. But again, there's not too much recent activity there. But there's sure a lot of geological activity with the earthquakes and everything. And again, those could be natural. There could be a natural reason. There was something else brought to my attention, that there's a lake nearby that's actually a crater to a volcano, and it's called Soda Lake, and it's around here. It's between the pyramid and the Pyramid Lake, and that's supposed to be an ancient volcano. So again, this could be, it's obviously I think it's right here. Yes, Soda Lake and Little Soda Lake here. That's supposedly a volcanic crater there, according to geologists in Nevada. I wonder if those geologists know about the Great Pyramid, which is probably not even 100 miles away from there. I know it's 140 miles from Pyramid Lake. But see, I could, like I said, I could just go on forever about this thing. It is just so remarkable. See how hard it is to find even now? I mean, I know it's right there, but I can't see it. Maybe you guys can see it, but I never really had a good eye for that kind of thing. That's why I was amazed I was able to find it. I know I can find it easy with Google Earth. I mean, obviously it's right there, but it always says Columbus right here, and it's just north of that. And there it is. So yeah, again, I'm trying to find a relationship, and then that is, well, here's the biggest discovery made since King Tut's tomb, or let's just say Göbekli Tepe. That's another place in Turkey that proves that human beings have been on Earth long and highly advanced technologically. Yes, we did have the wheel back then. I always get a kick out of that. Before they invented the wheel. But this is the biggest discovery. Just like the Mandela effect's the biggest, most incredible thing to happen, but yet hardly discussed. So I'll try to get off the pyramid, but there it is. The world's largest and the world's oldest pyramid discovered to date. And like I say, the heck with the monoliths. Let's look for the pyramids. They're all over, no doubt. Incomplete and complete. So with that, this is Sol A. Dale, currently in replica version of myself, Z Epsilon 8 Dale, on Terra Z Epsilon 8. And I thank you for watching, and we'll Google trot at you later. Love you.